The psychology behind quiet withdrawal. Some people don't disappear suddenly. There is no argument, no dramatic goodbye, no clear ending. They simply begin to fade. First, they reply a little later than usual. Then they stop initiating conversations. Phone calls feel exhausting. Social plans start feeling heavy instead of exciting. Eventually, people notice and say things like, "They've changed." They think they're better than everyone. They don't care anymore. But psychology tells a very different story. For many people, disconnecting is not rejection, it is protection. These individuals often spent years giving too much of themselves. They listened, they supported, they showed up even when they were tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained. Over time, they realized something uncomfortable. Their presence was expected, but their well-being was optional. Slow disconnection often begins after repeated emotional disappointment. When boundaries are ignored, when understanding is one-sided, when being strong becomes a permanent role instead of a choice. Instead of confronting everyone, which requires energy they no longer have, they choose silence, not because they don't care, but because caring started to cost too much. Psychology calls this emotional withdrawal, a response to long-term stress, overstimulation, or unmet emotional needs. The nervous system learns that constant interaction equals pressure. So the mind adapts. They reduce contact. They limit conversations. They choose solitude over explanation. This is especially common in highly self-aware or emotionally intelligent people. They reflect deeply. They notice patterns. They recognize when relationships feel draining instead of nourishing. Rather than arguing, they step back. To outsiders, this looks cold, but internally it feels like relief. Another reason people disconnect is identity growth. As individuals mature, their values change. What once felt meaningful may now feel empty. Small talk becomes exhausting, forced connections feel dishonest, and pretending becomes unbearable. So they choose fewer relationships, but deeper ones. Quality replaces quantity. Importantly, this withdrawal is rarely permanent isolation. It is selective connection. They don't want no one. They want the right ones. People who disconnect slowly often rebuild their inner world first. They reconnect with their thoughts, their boundaries, their sense of self. And only after that, they reconnect with others. In psychology, this is not antisocial behavior. It is self-preservation. So if someone you know has gone quiet, don't assume ego. Don't assume indifference. Sometimes silence is not distance, it's healing. And sometimes stepping away from everyone is the only way to finally come back to yourself.